Good morning, Graham from Unearthed again. This is the weekly detecting talk, probably the third one, I think, if I remember rightly. I've got a number of topics to bring up over the next few weeks, probably leading into months. If you guys don't think it's of interest to you, just ignore it and move on to something else. But the reason why I'm going to do these is to give a little bit of advice to people that are out there that might be a bit unsure about the way they detect, how they're detecting, if they're detecting correctly, and other things. So today I've been dropped a couple of messages, social media messages, asking me certain questions, and instead of answering the same question over and over, it's good to put it into a little video so people can go back, listen to it. If they want to take my advice, do it. If you don't want to take my advice, do your own thing. I'm no professional detectorist. I'm just going to give you advice from my side of things, how I see life in the detecting world. So the first one, there's actually been a few lately, is how do I find hammered coins? Well, it's a great question to ask. Hammered coins are very elusive. They come in all shapes and sizes. They can be lost anywhere over the years, over the centuries. So hammered coins can come up in the most unlikely of places. The field behind me here, when I first bought this piece of land way back in 2010, I detected it a few times, never found a great deal. Went out with it one April morning with a new machine, bang, hammered. It was the least place I would expect a hammered to turn up at the time. But when you do your homework and look into things, you can sort of see why. So hammered coins can turn up just about anywhere. You've got to do your research first into places where they're most likely to turn up. So when I first started detecting 38 years ago now, I didn't really find any hammered coins because I was using a cheap and cheerful children's detector because I was just a kid. I was 10. It wasn't until the 80s when I sort of reinvigorated myself into metal detecting properly and bought a proper machine, which was a Tesoro Royal Sabre. That was my first decent detector in about 86, 87. I found my first hammered coin on my first day out. And the reason is because I got permission around an ancient farm. It had been linked to an abbey. There'd been a lot of history on the place. And I knew there'd be something on there of interest. Elizabeth the first sixpence came up mid-afternoon. I knew it was a hammer, didn't know exactly what it was. Great find. And ever since then, I've been lucky enough to find hammered coins right throughout the ages, from all kings and queens, from some really elusive hammered coins, like rare and unique even, right up to your modern day, when I say modern day, your Tudor, Stuart type hammered, Charles, James, Elizabeth, that sort of thing. They're all the same to me. I love hammered coins. I always have. I've always had a soft spot for hammered. If I don't find a hammered coin a day's detecting, I class it as a bit of a failure. Even though I might find a couple of nice artifacts or something else, my rule of thumb is finding hammered coins. That's my bread and butter. Some people might dismiss that and think that's funny, but that's just the way I am. I love hammered. So do your research first. I found hammered coins on footpaths. I found them in woodland, mainly on arable land. So there's a key, there's a clue. Arable land. If you're detecting on arable land, the plough's bringing these ancient coins to the surface, it's increasing your chances to find them. Round churches. If you get permission around a church has been there 1,000 years. People have been milling around that church for centuries. They're bound to have lost a hammered coin or two. Even up here in Cumbria, where hammered coins are quite elusive, the modern detectorists with the modern detectors are finding more and more. So they've always been there, it's just getting them out and doing your research. So churches is a good one. I keep itching my nose because I've got, it feels like a cold coming on, so I do apologise. So round churches. Try round churches. If you get permission round a church, it might be a modern church now, but there might have been an earlier one there centuries ago, built upon. Modern church built upon the old one. So always look for that sort of area to detect. We find hammered coins all over the place. It's amazing where they turn up, but the rule of thumb is arable land, churches, farms that have been linked to medieval abbeys, priories, anything like that. Anything with any earthworks nearby, anything with any historical houses nearby, you've got a chance of finding a hammered coin. Now, the other thing I do, and I've been doing this for about 15 years now, didn't do it early days because I didn't really understand too much about it, but I am a great believer of the soil. Where there's good soil, good growing soil, very fertile growing soil for crops, you usually find that the ancient people knew that as well. And they've been on there, your hammered coins turn up on there, your Roman coins turn up on there, even your Celtic and your Saxon pieces from all ages. That increases your chances of finding the elusive hammered. Now, people get a bit despondent because they look on social media, they log into Facebook, and they see all these hammered coins all over the place. Why can't I find them? You've got to have the patience to go out there and find them. They won't just turn up overnight. One thing that sticks out in my mind is we sold a metal detector to a guy about 3 or 4 months ago. He might even be watching this, and he'll know that I'm not having a go at him. I'm telling the truth. But he bought a detector. He asked me if it would find hammered coins. He actually asked me if it would find gold. I said, well, if you go over gold, you'll find gold with it. But it will find hammered. I've used that particular machine in the past, and I found 1 or 2 nice hammered coins with it. So you'll do the same in time, if you've got the patience. So he bought it, he used it. 3 weeks later, he'd been out with it 4 or 5 times, rang me up, I want my money back. Strange, why do you want your money back? Is there a fault with the machine? No, there's no fault with the machine, I just haven't found anything yet. I've not found gold or hammered yet. You've got to walk over it, you've got to put the hours in. No point in going out in your local park with permission of the local council to do a park where there's never going to be a hammered in a month, or you're going to be lucky to find a hammered in there. You could try forever. You've got to walk over it. So I'm telling people it's not as easy as it seems. I mean, I found over 500, maybe 600 hammered over the years, which sounds a lot, but if you do your maths and put that into time spent in the field over the years, it isn't a lot. I know people finding 200 a year in some parts of the country, lucky enough to find that many. So that's what I would suggest. Do your homework. Look for fields around churches, even old footpaths and old routes. They all produce hammered coins, but the arable land is the key. If you get on the arable land, it increases your chances. So I hope that helps. They can turn up anywhere, they are elusive, but with the right detector in the right hands, you'll find them. You put the hours in, you persevere, and you believe, all them things will come fall into place, and you will find hammered coins. No two ways about it. Next up is, I think this is important. You guys might not think that, but I certainly do, is detecting is a strange hobby. It's the most wonderful hobby on earth. It's the most rewarding hobby on earth. If you're into history and interested in age and all things, there's no better hobby than detecting. It is terrific. I love it. I breathe it. I've done it for years. It's an obsession for me, absolute obsession. I'm obsessed by the hobby. Never stop thinking about it. However, it is crucial to find the right detecting partner. If you go alone and you're a lone wolf, that's fine, that's good. But if you're a detectorist that likes a bit of company out in the field, make sure you pick the right person to detect with. And the reason why I say this is because over the years I've had 1 or 2 detecting partners, some good, some not too good. Some I still miss to this day detecting with, and for whatever reason we've parted company because I've not liked some of the things that have been going on with them as individuals. It's difficult to get the right partner. I'm lucky, I'm blessed, I've got a great detecting partner who shares the same beliefs and ideals as I do. He loves detecting, he doesn't do it for the money, he loves it because of the age of the items and coins and artifacts that he finds. But there's too many out there doing it. They'll find something, within a day it's on eBay sold. Now, to me, that's not a full-blown detectorist. That's somebody that's in it for the money. They don't appreciate the history of things. I can understand if somebody has to sell something because it's worth money, but when these guys are finding things, they're selling them within 24 hours. They've got to get the money in. Is it just, is it a hobby that they're enjoying because of the history side of things, or is it just because they want to make a few quid out of it? Again, that's just me. I'm not having a go at anybody. If you want to go out and sell your stuff, that's fine. I've sold stuff over the years because I've had to. I've not been able to afford to keep them because the landowners wanted half. But there's a difference between a full-blown detectorist, I think, and a treasure hunter or somebody who's going out finding bits and pieces for money. That's my opinion. Some of you guys might disagree with that. That's fine. We're all different. It'd be a funny world if we all thought the same. But your detecting partner is crucial. It's company out in the field. It's somebody to share your finds with when you find it. Shout them over. Look at this. Brilliant find. Well done. Shares the cost of the fuel there and back when you're doing a lot of travelling like we do. But it's crucial you find that guy that shares the same beliefs and ideals as you do, because there's too many out there that will go behind your back, do something wrong, or see it as a competition. And we've had that in the past where people have come detecting with us for a number of years and they see it as a competition. I'm going to beat you today. How many Roman have you found? I've got twice as many as you. It's not a competition, it's a detecting hobby where you go out and find bits and pieces, you enjoy the day. It's an adventure. If you get lucky, it's an added bonus. So one bit of advice I can give you is choose your partner wisely, folks. I'm just reading off my little list here of questions that I've been asked. Another one is you'll read on social media from time to time about people being professional metal detectorists. There's no such thing in my eyes. I mean, we had one guy who wanted to do videos for us, wanted a free machine because he was a professional detectorist. He's only been doing it 3 or 4 years. At the time, I'd probably been doing it 30. So he couldn't tell me anything that I didn't already know. It's because he wanted to create a YouTube channel and draw in thousands of people and have his day or have his claim to fame. No such thing as a professional detectorist. A professional detectorist must be somebody that earns his money out of detecting and he's out in the field every day detecting, I guess. I don't know. So there's a common misconception out there. There's no such thing as a professional detectorist. I don't think there is. Unless it's somebody that maybe does it for money, sponsored by the manufacturer. One of them type, I guess. So that's my slant on it. I've read it loads of times. I'm a professional metal detectorist. Get a life. No such thing. So that's that. The other thing which is important, I think, is when you're detecting, you've got your partner, you've got your detecting buddy, or you've got 2 or 3 of you, maybe. It's important to do your own thing. You'll get a group of yous and there'll always be that one in that group that's luckier than you. He's the one who comes back to the car every week with a bit of silver, a bit of gold, a choice find, a lovely artifact. And what people tend to do is they concentrate more on what that guy's doing out in the field than their own detecting. So you'll set off and constantly you're watching that guy, what he's doing, where he's going, how he's detecting. As you're concentrating on him, you're losing concentration on your own detecting. Chances are you won't find a great deal. Let him do what he wants to do. Let him go where he wants to go. If he goes and finds wonderful things, let him do it. You put your effort and all your energy into detecting yourself. Don't concentrate on what they're doing because you won't find stuff. So that's a great tip if I can give you this. If there's any bit of advice you'll pick up off this video is that. Let them do their own thing. You do your own thing. You go where you want to go. If you fancy that little rise in the field over there that looks interesting, or that group of trees in the distance with a little pond behind it all, go there and detect. Don't watch what he's doing and what he's up to, because you'll just lose concentration. You may as well pack up and go home. And that's probably why he comes back to the car at the end of the day with more than you. Do your own thing. So I hope that helps and gives people a little bit of advice on how I see detecting currently. I'll continue to do these until somebody says to me, you know what, they're a load of rubbish. And I'll probably stop. But it's just my slant on detecting. Detecting talk. We'll continue it for a few months. There's a lot of material out there that I need to get through. By all means, send me some messages on YouTube. You can direct message me or you can put some comments on underneath. It's probably worth doing that because it will add to the content. If you've got any questions, I'll try my best to answer them. So happy days. Good luck out in the field, and remember, do your own thing, not what other people are doing. Bye for now.